Tonight, before you drift too deeply into sleep, let us visit a part of American history that rarely asks for attention. There are no wars waiting here, no famous names to remember, no dramatic moments to stay awake for. Instead, this is a quiet story, a slow one, the kind of story that moves gently, like a long breath at the end of the day. This is the ordinary life of colonial American farmers. Their days were simple, their routines repeated themselves endlessly, and their lives changed very little from one morning to the next. This kind of colonial American daily life may seem boring at first, and that is exactly why it belongs in a peaceful bedtime history story. So allow your shoulders to relax, let your breathing slow, and as your thoughts begin to wander, we will gently step into early American farming history. In colonial America, mornings began quietly, long before the sun fully rose above the land, not because of ambition, not because of urgency, but simply because daylight was limited and work depended on it. Early American farmers woke without alarms. There were no clocks ticking loudly in the background, no sharp sounds demanding attention. The day did not begin suddenly, it unfolded slowly. Outside, the land waited in silence. Fields stretched out in familiar patterns, unchanged from the day before. Crops stood patiently, looking much the same as they always had. This was the daily life of colonial farmers, predictable, steady, and calm. Morning tasks were modest and expected. Animals were fed, fences were checked, fields were walked through slowly, often without conversation. These small, repetitive routines formed the foundation of American farming history. They were not done for excitement or recognition, they were done because they needed to be done. And in this quiet repetition, colonial life in America moved at a gentle pace, making it ideal for anyone searching for boring history for sleep. As the morning passed, the real work of the day continued without hurry. The labor of colonial American farmers was long, but it was never rushed. Plowing soil took hours. Planting crops required patience and attention. Every task depended on human effort and time. There were no machines to speed the work along, no shortcuts to rely on. Everything moved as fast or as slowly as the body allowed. American farming history during the colonial period was shaped by this repetition. Each day looked very much like the one before it. The same fields, the same tools, the same slow progress. This boring colonial history may seem unimportant when compared to famous events, but it reflects how early American farmers spent most of their lives, quietly, steadily, and without recognition. For listeners searching for relaxing USA history stories, this unchanging pace allows the mind to unwind naturally, without effort. As the midday passed, the sun rested high above the fields. The work paused, but only briefly. Meals were simple and familiar, often made from corn, bread, or vegetables grown nearby. There were no elaborate recipes, no special occasions. Colonial American daily life revolved entirely around what the land could provide. Farmers ate slowly, resting in the shade when possible, listening to the breeze move through the crops. These moments were rarely written down. They were not recorded in history books, and yet they made up most of American farming history. For bedtime listeners, these quiet midday hours are perfect examples of boring history for sleep, moments where nothing remarkable happens and nothing needs to. As the afternoon faded, attention slowly turned toward home. Colonial homes were modest and plain, wooden walls, simple furniture, very little decoration. Inside, Life moved just as slowly as it did outdoors. Families spoke softly, or sometimes not at all. Light came from candles or small fires, casting gentle shadows across the room. Evenings were not filled with entertainment. There were no screens, no performances, no distractions. Instead, evenings were filled with rest. This peaceful domestic routine defined early American farmers more than any historical event ever could. Their lives were built around consistency and calm. Colonial life in America was not dramatic, and that is exactly why it feels so relaxing to revisit today. As darkness settled across the fields, the farms grew quieter once again. Animals rested, tools were set aside. There was no reason to stay awake late. Tomorrow would look much the same as today. Colonial American farmers ended their days early, conserving energy for the morning ahead. Nighttime brought stillness, not activity. This gentle ending to each day shows why colonial American daily life fits so naturally into sleep-focused history content. The calm repetition encourages rest without effort or attention. Time itself moved differently in early American farming communities. Seasons passed without urgency: spring planting, summer tending, autumn harvesting, winter waiting. American farming history followed the land, not the calendar. Time was measured by weather and growth, not dates. For early American farmers, change was gradual. Nothing happened quickly, nothing needed to. This slow seasonal rhythm is ideal for those who enjoy boring American history as a quiet background for rest. Most colonial farmers were never named in records. They were not famous, they were not celebrated, and yet their quiet labor shaped the future of the United States. Their ordinary lives formed the backbone of colonial America. They lived simply, they worked slowly, and they passed their routines down through generations. This unexciting truth is what makes their story perfect for bedtime listening. Today, when life feels fast and noisy, the slow lives of colonial American farmers offer something different. They remind us that history does not always need excitement. Sometimes it needs silence. By revisiting American farming history in this calm way, we connect with a slower version of the past. A past where days blended together, where routines mattered more than events, and where boredom brought peace. As we leave the fields of colonial America behind, allow your thoughts to slow even further. The ordinary lives of early American farmers continue quietly in the background of history. There is nothing more to do tonight, nothing to hurry toward. Just rest.